Alright, so we're back. Another vlog. It's been a while. Um, Today, my original plan kinda got canned now because I try to go ride Pirates, and right when I get in line, the ride closes. So the original plan for this video kinda just got canned, but today, we got the Pirate shirt on, Captain Jack got a rep. So yeah, the original plan is to ride Pirates and talk a little about Pirates of the Caribbean 6 news. So, if you're a Pirates of the Caribbean fan, there's been a little bit of news, finally. Nothing official, but we're going to talk about it. Like I said, my plan was to go on the ride and talk about it in the queue, but now I'm here in Adventureland, as you can see. So, just bear with me. This is the vlog.
Strike your colors, you bloomin' cockroaches! Surrender, Captain Jack Sparrow, or my thunder will burn the city to the ground!
Be brave, Carlos. Don't listen to him.
Where'll be Captain Jack Sparrow? Speak up! Or do you fancy a swim with Davy Jones?
Now, you swabbies, what may I offer for these hearty heads? Every one an egglet.
Not lest they be laying golden eggs!
Hey there, you bilge rat!
Oh, quit your clucking. The gentlemen want the rum. Don't ya, boy?
Hey, watch the rum! Watch the rum!
Alright, so there's already been a lot of issues trying to get this video done. You know, last night went to Magic Kingdom, tried to film the video at the Pirates queue. They ended up closing the ride, so we all had to get out of the queue. And, you know, then I went somewhere else in Magic Kingdom and Adventureland, filmed it. Then the ride reopened, so I went back, refilmed it, and then, you know, had it ready. Then this morning we got another Pirate 6 update, funny enough, from Entertainment Tonight. They were interviewing Jerry Bruckheimer, who's the producer of the Pirates franchise, and they asked him about, you know, the recent Pirate 6 rumors, so we'll go over that first. So the recent rumors we got last week were from Jeff Snyder, who's a film industry insider, stating that Pirate 6 will be about Jack Sparrow's son, and also feature Margot Robbie, and that they had tapped the writer of 1917, Christy Wilson Kierans, to write the script, and that this film is a huge priority for the new leadership at Disney, which if you haven't heard, there's a new CEO in town at Disney. It's going to be Josh D'Amaro, former president of Disney Parks, is now going to become the CEO, and Dana Walden will be the new chief creative officer at Disney. So there's new leadership. Bob Iger's gone, which has been a long time coming. Sorry, Bob. And, you know, we heard that it was a big, you know, that D'Amaro and Walden really want to do Pirate 6. And I'll say, funny enough, a little side note, in November of last year, I had went to Epcot, you know, with the family, and I actually got to meet Josh D'Amaro, and, you know, we talked about Pirates of the Caribbean, and, you know, and the parks and stuff. He's a nice guy, really nice guy. So just a little side note, I've gotten to meet Josh. So maybe that conversation pushed something, and maybe you want to do another, I don't know. But, yeah, we got that report from Jeff Snyder. That was the biggest Pirate 6 news we've had in a while, and it seemed like, you know, a lot of, you know, media outlets took that and ran with it, and took it as truth at face value. And last night, Jerry Bruckheimer did an interview with Entertainment Tonight, and they asked him about, you know, the Jack Sparrow's son and Margot Robbie film. You know, if that's really what Pirate 6 is going to be about, and he said they're close on part of it. And so the interviewer asked, so maybe the Margot Robbie part, not the Jack Sparrow's son? And Bruckheimer replied, I think you're going up the right road. So the Jack Sparrow's son story seems to be debunked. It's out of question. We're still, Disney and Bruckheimer are still working on the Margot Robbie Pirates film, which, is it Pirates 6? Is it going to be a reboot of the franchise? We don't know. We still don't know anything. Is Johnny Depp coming back? We don't know. We know nothing still. It seems like Bruckheimer is going to have Top Gun 3 done before Pirates 6. So if we get a Pirates 6, we might get an announcement this year at D23, the big Disney Fan Expo, where they announce all the news for film, TV, and the theme parks. So we might get something this year. If not, maybe in 2028, maybe we'll get something at the next one. And maybe my guess, just throwing my hat into the ring on when we might get a Pirates 6 in actual film, does happen. Probably 2030 for release time is what I'd assume is what we're looking at. It seems like, that from what that Entertainment Tonight interview, she talked about, maybe Johnny coming back. Bruckheimer didn't really mention anything on that. The interview really just said at the end, Margot Robbie and Johnny, which maybe it might happen with Margot Robbie and Johnny, which that'd be a good. We want Captain Jack Sparrow to come back. He's the face of the franchise. It's like doing an Indiana Jones film without Indiana Jones. You just can't do a Pirates of the Caribbean film without Captain Jack Sparrow. It just wouldn't make sense. And, there's a lot of different ways they could go about this. When we heard the rumors of the Jack Sparrow son of Margot Robbie, I thought, if Johnny Depp doesn't come back, that would be the safest bet to do it. It's kind of like how Jurassic World in 2015 was kind of a reboot of that franchise, and it didn't really feature any of the original characters from the previous 3 Jurassic Park films, but we had the new characters in Jurassic World, but there was kind of a connection there with some of the characters in the park. It made sense. I thought that's kind of what they were going for with this, but now it looks like we might just be getting a Margot Robbie Pirates film. We might be getting Margot Robbie and Johnny Depp. We don't know. We're still at a point where we don't know anything about Pirates 6. It seems like Disney and Bruckheimer have just really been struggling to write the script. We heard news. There were, rumors that Craig Mazin and I think Terry Rossio were working on a script at one point. We heard Jeff Nathanson, who wrote Pirates 5, was working on a script, and they had a great third act, but they just couldn't get the first and second act. But now it's like we just, we're hearing all this news. It's like we don't have anything really official yet. It seems like we're still, Disney and Bruckheimer are still struggling to get a script and a story together, and it's been a long time coming for another Pirates film. We're still waiting. Like I said, hopefully this year is the year we get the official announcement. But it seems like, we're still kind of in that limbo state. But if you want more Pirates news, Pirates updates, like and subscribe to the channel. Keep following me. I'm a big Pirates fan. If you look at this channel, there's a lot of theme park content, but I want to start doing more film news and stuff, especially with Pirates of the Caribbean, because that's really a franchise I'm hugely, passionate about. So I'm really going to start focusing and harnessing in on having more news and updates with that. And if you want to see more Pirates or just discussions, let me know in the comments. But let me know what your thoughts are on Pirates 6. Put it in the comments below to the 5 people that are going to watch this video. Tell me what you think about Pirates 6 and what you want